Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for having waited. Welcome to the phone conference from Ovarian Cancer Canada, Wake Up Call Dealing with Insomnia. At this moment, all lines are just on listening mode. After the presentation, there will be a period of questions and answers, and we will explain you how it works at that time. If you have any difficulties during the conference, please press *0 for the assistance of a. Please note that this conference is taped today at 1:30 Eastern Time. I will now give the floor to Iris Pizon, Project Manager. Ovarian Cancer Canada wishes to welcome you for this phone conference for women suffering from ovarian cancer and their caregivers. We are very happy to present this session called Dealing with Insomnia to all our participants. We would like to thank Dr. José Savard for having accepted to give this conference. Dr. José Savard is a professor at the School of Psychology at the Université Laval and a researcher at the Cancer Research Center of the Laval University, associated to the Hôtel Dieu Hospital in Quebec City. Her research is on insomnia associated to cancer and the efficiency of intervention to treat it. You never stop moving around and you're agitated during the night and you wake up at the wee hours of the morning. This affects your daily activities and you would like to find a solution. Research has shown to what point sleeping is important for your well-being. Assist at this session to find the sleep you require. My name is Iris Pizon, and I am in charge of the phone conference trainings, including the one you will listen to today. Ovarian Cancer Canada works very hard so that women suffering from ovarian cancer and their caregivers get the needed information. We hope that you will enjoy this phone conference and that you will ask all the questions you have to Dr. Savard. To encourage the public to ask questions, we ask you to just give your first name or an alias if that makes you more comfortable. The last phone conference, clinical trials, are they beneficial for you and how to access them, is available on YouTube at www.youtube.com/Ovarian Cancer Canada. They've been put in 10-minute segments to facilitate your listening so that you can go back to listen where you're at. Please register to YouTube. We would also like to thank Mrs. Adunka for her translation work today. We are very happy today to have survivors, members of their family, and healthcare professionals from all over the country in our listeners. We hope that you'll be able to help us with your comments. We will send you an evaluation form by email or by regular mail. We would like to have your comments on today's training. I will now give the floor to Dr. José Savard. Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure for me to be here with you today on the phone. I would have liked to meet you all in person, but it's something new to simply speak in front of my computer. But I hope that you will find this conference interesting and that it will give you useful, concrete strategies to face insomnia. So today I will speak of insomnia related to cancer. I will speak of the importance of this problem and how it is very frequent amongst cancer patients. And I will also present some information on what are the causes of this insomnia in the context of cancer, its consequences, and then half of the conference will be on different strategies that can be used to counter these sleeping difficulties related to cancer. So without further ado, I will start by distinguishing the three types of sleep difficulties that we can face. Some people will have difficulties falling asleep at bedtime. These are people who will go to bed and will be unable to fall asleep. They'll just turn from one side to the other. The thoughts will take the important place, their worries, so that the person becomes quite agitated, and it might take her In the most severe cases, many hours before they can fall asleep. The second type of sleep difficulty are the difficulties staying asleep during the night. And these are people who will wake up many times during the night and will have difficulty falling back asleep. We'll see later that for clinicians, researchers in sleeping, we use very specific criteria to determine what is problematic in terms of the severity of the different difficulties. Sometimes these people who have difficulty staying asleep, we will see that it's a pretty constant from one night to the other. People will tell, it's pretty much automatic. I wake up at 2 o'clock to fall back asleep around 3:30. It's as if I had an alarm clock waking me up, but it's not. What happens is just the person automatically wakes up without knowing why, without really having any reasons for that. The third type is people who complain of waking up too early in the morning. For example, these would be people who would like to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, but who, for some reason or another, wake up at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, and they can't fall back asleep after that. So these are three types of difficulties, and what we notice is that the frequency of these type of difficulties changes according to the age of the patients. With younger people suffering insomnia, we will mostly see difficulties falling asleep, whereas with elderly people, we will find more the two different, which are the difficulty staying asleep and that of awakening too early in the morning. What will happen also very often is that these difficulties will be mixed. Someone might show difficulties falling asleep at the beginning of the night and difficulties staying asleep during the night. I was telling you earlier that we have very specific criteria to determine if there is a serious sleep problem. We distinguish what we call a insomnia syndrome is maybe the most severe problem of sleeping disorders, and that was defined by sleep experts according to the criteria that I'm going to mention now. We say that someone has an insomnia syndrome when it takes them more than 30 minutes to fall asleep at night, or if they're awake more than 30 minutes during the night, at least 3 nights a week. We determine also that these people have a sleep efficiency under 85%, and I'll explain to you how we do that math. Sleep efficiency basically is the proportion of the time that we spend in bed sleeping. So to give a concrete example, let's say you sleep 6 hours at night for 8 hours spent in bed. We're going to divide 6 by 8, and that will give us a sleep efficiency of 75%. So as I was saying, we determine that someone has an insomnia syndrome when the sleep efficiency is under 85%. So that less of 85% of the time spent in bed is really time spent sleeping. Ideally, we would want the sleep efficiency to be at 100%, which is as soon as you go to bed, you fall asleep. We don't wake up at all during the night, and we get up as soon as we wake up in the morning. That would give a sleep efficiency of 100%. But it's not a very realistic objective, because even for good sleepers, it usually takes a few minutes to fall asleep at the beginning of the night, and we won't necessarily get up as soon as we open our eyes in the morning. So this is the criteria of 85%. And then we say that someone who suffers an insomnia syndrome, which is the most severe aspect of sleeping disorders, when the person causes marked distress or impaired daytime functioning because of these troubles. So because of the sleeping trouble, the person is less functional at work. She might have difficulties concentrating during the day, less energy. It's harder for her to really go through her daily tasks. Or that the sleeping troubles really cause a distress to the person. The person really feels that it's an obstacle for her in life, and it really causes a lot of psychological discomfort. Also, we say that there is an insomnia syndrome when the sleeping difficulties that I mentioned earlier, more than 30 minutes to fall asleep, more than 30 minutes awake in the night, at least 3 nights a week, a sleep efficiency under 85%, and that lasts more than a month.